Greeting teacher and good evening everyone. Welcome to group 3 presentation of LF202. Today we are going to talk about summary of chapter 9 of Village by the Sea. We are so pleased to have an opportunity making this video presentation. Our group consists of 6 members, but only 3 members will be going to present in this video, which is me, Nidapo, Danita, and Narong. And other 3 members are Sraylin, Liming, and Richard. This presentation will divide it into 4 main sections. Section 1 is going to be the summary of the story. Section 2 is about the analysis theme and main message in the chapter. Section 3 is about the analysis between study and teach and real life. Last but not least is the Q&A section that we are going to discuss in the class. So without any further delay, let me move on to the first section of this presentation that will be the summary of the chapter 9. As day pass by, Harry's life is getting difficult because it is getting hotter and hotter by staying in the kitchen all day and night. He can never feel comfortable sleeping in the kitchen. He always wishes for the darkness and quiet of his village by the sea. Harry nearly falls ill because he never gets enough sleep every night. Then, one day, the watchmaker told him that he should go to sleep in the park, where he can sleep with the cool air and better outside. This is a very good suggestion, and Harry was very happy. Even though it is not really a nice place, but it is better to sleep under the tree with pigeons and cool fresh air than sleeping in the hot kitchen. But then one day, when the police see Harry, he doesn't want Harry to sleep on the bench and even want to try and hit Harry with the nightstick. But when an old man passed by, he blamed the police for bullying an innocent boy instead of taking care of the real riffraff. The police feels so bad for doing like that and then go back to deal with the drunkard. From then, the police always be nice and say hi to Harry and never bother him anymore. When Harry stays at the park, he always sees the same people every day. An old man he meets every day, a lady that feeds pigeons, and the children playing around. When he sees this, he always thinks about his sister and he wishes he could interact with them. And back to Jagu. Jagu always be nice to Harry. Harry listened to what Jagu sing and his tone and then realized that Jagu is from a far away village too. Mr. Panvala is a very kind-hearted man who genuinely wants to help Harry. Mr. Panvala asked if Harry wants to learn how to repair and make watch so that he can pay Harry a little money and he might become a watchmaker someday. Harry is very happy and grateful for that. Mr. Panvala offered him a job. He accepted, but then Harry mumbled that his hands are dirty. Mr. Panvala laughed and then told Harry just to wipe them off. This job became a source of joy and hope for Harry to make a better living. And then, Jagu has no problem for let Harry to work with the watchmaker during his free time because Jagu thinks Mr. Panvala is a good and complimentary teacher. Back in Toul, when the family preparing to leave, Mr. De Silva tells Lila that her mother will be fine, and it is a good idea to let her stay in the hospital until the wet monsoon season ends. He will stop by at her father's place to give him a bit of fun. Then, Mrs. De Silva called out for Lila to look out for Saeed Ali and give her a few things to remember. After the family had left, an elderly man with a wise-looking, educated came outside from the house. Lila noticed him, but he seemed doesn't care about them. The old man is an easy person, quiet and polite, but he doesn't really interact with people. And then one day, he gave money for Lila to buy some sweet. Lila was very happy for the money that she earned because she can use that money to buy food to stock in the house and visit her mother once a week.
So, good evening, teacher, and good evening, everyone. My name is Anita. I'm going to talk about theme analysis and main messages. The first theme of this chapter is kindness of stranger. This was a major theme in this chapter. We can see many characters such as Jagu, Mr. Pamela, the Da Silva's family, and Sajid Ali had shown their kindness by helping Harry and his sibling. These individuals have no obligation to Harry or his sibling, but saw them as struggling children who need help and guidance. Mr. Pavalas was kind and genuinely wanted to help Harry, decided to take Harry under his wing and taught this young boy how to repair and make watches, while the Da Silva's family offered to give Lila's father some money to keep him going till her mother was well. Moreover, Sajid Ali, who was described as quiet and elderly man, often gave some money to Kamal and Bella to buy sweets when they came to help. Because of these acts of kindness, Harry was able to have a place to stay, food to eat, and a skill to learn. Similarly, Lila and her sister was able to have enough money to buy some food to feed the family.
Sometimes it's easy to feel like the world's getting harder. But if we look closer, on the news, on the web, on the street, we're anything but unkind. Every day, we hear new stories of people trying to make the world a better place. And together, we can make the world that little bit kinder for all of us. It all starts with just one person, you. The thing about kindness is that it's just about the only thing in the world that doubles when you share it. And it's a fact, backed by science. Studies have shown that if you perform just one random act of kindness a day, you'll not only reduce your stress, anxiety, and depression, but your body is flooded with the same hormones that make you and the person you've helped calmer, healthier, and happier. Serotonin, which heals your wounds, helps you relax and makes you feel good. Endorphins, which reduce pain. And oxytocin, which reduces blood pressure and makes you feel more loving and loved. You'll both be more energized, feel less aches and pains, more confident, and could even live longer. And if other people see you helping someone else, they'll be filled with those same feel-good hormones, meaning they're significantly more likely to pay it forward. Like taking that extra moment to hold the elevator for someone, spotting a coffee for a stranger who's just a few cents short, giving your neighbor a hand with their groceries, even just smiling and meaning it. It doesn't take much, but it can make a huge difference for everyone. Those people you've helped will help other people, and those other people will help even more people. And those random acts of kindness can start a chain reaction that can spread across an entire community, a city, a country, and with enough of us, the world. Now, isn't that the world we all want? And it all starts with one.
The second theme of this chapter is homesick. Despite earning 1 rupee a day, Harry missed his hometown and his family a lot. Harry was so used to living near the sea with his family since he was born. He was so used to the sound and the smell of the sea, so when he had to live far away in a modern city, he was not used to the crowded city at all, and started to miss his hometown. Without giving his address, Harry was not able to know about the situation in his family. Therefore, when Harry saw school children, he missed seeing his sister and wondered when will he see them again. Moving on to my next point is main messages. There are two main messages that I have picked up from this chapter. The first message is to persevere in the face of hardship. People shouldn't be hopeless or give up when they face difficulty in life. No matter what happens, they must fight against those hardships to survive in the world, just like Harry did. As you can see in the chapter, Harry had to deal with many difficulties while working in the eating house. He had to deal from working in a hot kitchen to serving the customer non-stop and eating leftover food from them. Despite of this tiring work, Harry has never given up this job. He still insists doing it, because only working in this eating house can help him to support his family. Therefore, it can educate us that every person always has their own difficulty. So if you're struggling with any hardship in your life, don't feel like this is the end of the world. You should get up and fight against it. The final message of this chapter is be grateful for what you have. Worrying and complaint is a part of life. It's an inevitable fact, and sometimes it's something we simply can't control. We are only human after all. We don't do ourselves any favor too when we pour all of our soul into our concern. When things get tough, complaining is not a solution at all, because you will gain nothing from it and things also can't be done. Instead, try to find things to be thankful for. Your life today may be someone else's dream, and you never know how much lucky you are. For instance, our character Harry was so grateful for his job. Although Harry was paid very little and barely has enough time to sleep, he has never complained or asked for a better place. He was happy to find a job in his city and only tried to fulfill his duty. Compared to his life before, it was way better, and he couldn't ask for more. Therefore, we should be grateful for whatever we have, even though it was just a small thing. That is the end of my presentation. I will pass this presentation to the next speaker. Thank you.
Many scenes in the Village by the Sea can be reflected on life in the actual world. We can see many interesting values and concepts that the author has kept buried if we carefully examine and evaluate the background of the story. Hello lecturer and all classmates. My name is Narong. I'm from Group 3. And today we will look at how Chapter 9 of the above scenario related to real life event. So without further delay, let me begin the stage. Chapter 9 talks about hardship Harry faced during his work as a waiter in Mumbai. Back to Toll Village, Harry, who was living in a family which parents are unable to take care of their children. The mother is sick with an unknown illness, and the father is given to drink and disillusion. Harry, who is the only male sibling among the family, had to force himself to drop out his school and migrate to another city to find a work in order to support his family. When he arrived at the city, the only work he found is to be a waiter in one eating house, which is a really hard and not a well-paid job. In the opening of the chapter 9, we can see how difficult the work is for Harry. It is always hot and Harry is confined to the kitchen and front room day and night. At the same time, he also needs to be patient because as a waiter, he has to deal with different types of customers. Harry himself almost fell ill due to overworking and not getting enough sleep because he couldn't find a place for sleeping. He is advised by the watchmaker to sleep on the hard bench in the park, but he can never get comfortable. In this scene, we can infer that Harry would get a better job if he went to school and get enough education. Meanwhile, if we make a comparison between study tech and real life situation, it can be related that people who has not been educated may have to resort to terrible type of work just to survive. In a world of limited job, those with an education get first picking of the good and well-paid job, while people with less education qualify for anything other than labor work. just like Harry, who had lacked education. He only had a choice of using his physical strength to work. Moving to another scene which I found related to real life world is the kindness of Mr. Panwala toward Harry. Mr. Panwala, the watchmaker, is the kindest and most helpful to Harry. He asks if Harry might like to learn about watch and become his apprentice. He can pay him a little and he might become a watchmaker one day. Harry is real and incredulous that this man is offering employment to a village boy. He accepts but mumbles that his hands are dirty. Regardless of how dirty his hands are, it does not seem to be a matter of concern to Mr. Panwala. He just laughs and tells him just to wipe them off. Same in the real world. There are still some good people in society who does not base their opinion, judgment or evaluation on the state of someone else. These people are quite minding their own business, and when approached, they will show kindness, thoughtfulness and love. They don't advertise their good deed, but always there to help. They are trustworthy without a hidden agenda. They never judge people or categorize them as good or bad. They can be religious, agnostic or atheist, that doesn't matter. After a thorough analysis of each chapter, we can determine that there are several things that are relevant to our current circumstance, especially when it comes to the fact that there are still some people who got a heart of gold in our society. Those people help another people unconditionally from the bottom of their heart without expecting anything back. It is also true that the people with low education have limited choice of work. Those people have nothing to do but being a labor force. So that is all for my point, which is also the annual test 2. I sincerely appreciate your attention today, and let's move to the test 3, which will be about discussing question.